I'm DJ.
And this is the atomsplit Rockin' and Drawing video podcast.
That's right. And tonight we're talking about some of the most memorable concerts we have been to.
Yep.
As part of a maybe ongoing, or not ongoing, but trilogy series.
Yeah.
So first we're going to talk about the ones that we've actually physically been to. Concert shows that were the most memorable in our lifetimes. Right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
And while we're doing that, you're drawing a nice atomsplit comic page.
Yeah, I'm drawing this comic page that I've been drawing for a long time, but...
Right. So long that you posted the black and white of it because it was taking so long.
And the pencil drawing, too.
Yeah, and it got some good likes. So.
Yeah, I'm going to keep, gotta do something. I mean...
Yeah.
Whew.
All right, so when we went to Iron Maiden, it made me think of, this was really awesome, although this is not going to be one of my, although it should be. I'm going to exclude that from my memorable ones tonight, but what were some of the most memorable shows that I or you have been to in our lives?
Well, you thought that because Iron Maiden, you had never seen Iron Maiden before.
Right. And it probably would have qualified, although most of my most memorable shows were when I was quite young.
Yeah.
As a memorable show, it does. So we'll just go ahead and put that out there now. It qualifies, but we're not going to elaborate on that one, but since we did last week. But it got me thinking. So what, there's certain shows that I've been to that have resonated and were extremely memorable, and I know you've had the same experience, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if we want to probably not rank them, but you want to give me one?
All right, mine's not really ranked, but
yeah.
I am starting out with my all-time most favorite band. We saw them not together, but we were at the show in different areas, because you gave me your awesome seats. AC/DC.
Right.
And it was like the band was falling apart. They're still kind of falling apart. There's rumors that everybody's getting back together, but it was just to see them live, even with Axl Rose singing, it was awesome.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty awesome. It was memorable, I would say.
Oh yeah, seeing your favorite band live is very
and you hadn't seen them live up until that point.
No.
Yeah. So, but yet you had bought the cassettes back when you were in high school.
Yeah, I bought the tapes. I bought some CDs.
All right.
And then now I got them all on Spotify.
All right, cool. Well, that's pretty awesome. That was a good one. I came up with a theory while I was thinking about it today, knowing what we were going to talk about, that one of the key things of a memorable show is seeing an act or a band when they're in their heyday. Now, AC/DC wasn't in their heyday when you saw them, and I think there's another reason why that was memorable for you, because it was the first time you've seen them, so that counts in a different way. But
right.
If you see a band in their heyday, you know what I mean? I think it's definitely memorable. So one of the bands, and I was really young, I was in middle school, was Journey.
Oh.
And yeah, so Journey in 1981. I think I looked it up. As far as I could tell, it was October 22nd or 23rd. They did 2 nights in Lakeland, Florida, 1981. When Escape had just came out, and my best friend Blaine in middle school, his dad drove us we lived in Largo, Clearwater, to Lakeland, Florida, where all the big concerts were, and I got to witness Steve Perry just 15 yards away from me singing these at the heyday of Journey, these songs, and I mean, away. and just I will never forget that experience. And I think so we're starting with a bang here for me, but so I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and you're never going to see that again.
I'm probably not. And I mean, it was just like I was just I think it was my second concert I ever saw in my life, and I was just blown away by it. And I think it was like general admission, and we got up close, and Steve's over there. Oh my gosh, just the heyday of them, and I mean, like people that are a little bit older than me have seen other classic rock bands in their heyday. So that's probably my biggest heyday when I was really young show. So that makes the top of my most memorable list. And thank you, Blaine's father, for driving us to Lakeland, Florida from Largo, Florida back in 1981.
Now,
all right.
Okay, wait. So have you seen the new singer?
I have, yeah. No, I've been to Journey since then, up here in Atlanta at the where we saw Iron Maiden, and sat up close. Not near the same. Not even close.
Not even close.
It's just like a nostalgia type thing. So, yeah. I mean, seeing Steve Perry. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
Don't Stop Believing. It just come out. I mean, it was just blew me away. It's like,
yeah.
And I didn't really want to be like a Journey type band. I wanted to be Kiss, which is coming up next. But I would say that's my most memorable ever. So.
Okay. All right. My next one is another one we both went to. We've been to a lot of these together. Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
Now, I remember when I was in 6th grade, and I saved up a whole bunch of change, and I had it in a pencil box. It was a Garfield pencil box. And I took all that change down to the record store and bought the Appetite for Destruction. And my friend worked at the record store, and I knew I could get it from her because I was in 6th grade. And because it had the parental advisory.
Yeah.
So,
we talked about that earlier.
Yeah, so I wouldn't have been able to get it if it was somebody I didn't know or they were like a stickler. But I got it. I fell in love with Guns N' Roses. They broke up before I could really go see shows on my own or whatever.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd see him live. And then that's it. And the name of that tour, Not in Your Lifetime. That's what I thought it'd be.
Yep.
But yeah, we did it, man. We did it.
I mean, that goes into my later memorables. Yeah. I wish I had, as we get into the other ones, shows we wish we'd seen, I would put them in it at 1987 or 8 era, but
right.
Yeah.
When it was Izzy and Steven Adler.
But seeing them at the Georgia Dome before it got bowled over.
Yeah, blown up.
Was pretty awesome.
That's another thing. It's like if we see him again, we'll never see him there.
Yeah. All right. So AC/DC to Guns N' Roses. Okay. Well, I'm going to move to not necessarily number 2, but memorable was Kiss. My first time seeing Kiss, February 4th, 1983. Again, Lakeland Civic Center. It's just almost the same word.
Yeah.
In Lakeland, Florida. Kiss and the Plasmatics. So
the Plasmatics.
The Plasmatics. You familiar at all?
I've heard of them. I don't think I've ever heard of them.
So it was a kind of a punk band with Wendy O. Williams, and she had a chainsaw, and maybe that's where the atomsplit chainsaw came from. And she had an elevator and chainsawed up a doll and all this. But this was the last year that Kiss wore makeup before they took the makeup off.
Oh, okay.
But it was the first time that I was old enough. My parents, God bless them, drove me, my brother, and my friend Blaine, who went to see Journey. to Lakeland, which is like an hour and a half, 2 hours, to see the Creatures of the Night tour. And it was Vinnie Vincent, not Ace Frehley. Vinnie Vincent was the guitarist, and Eric Carr was, it wasn't Peter Criss, it was Eric Carr. And we didn't really know who was playing, that it wasn't Ace Frehley at that point, because there was no internet, so you didn't know what was really going on.
Yeah.
We just knew he had a different makeup, and it wasn't Ace Frehley. I mean, I kind of knew who Eric Carr was, but I would say,
what year was this?
83.
83. Did you have like Metal Edge magazines or anything?
Oh heck yeah! I still have all those. I need to do. I kind of want to do something cool with those.
So did they didn't like clue you in as to somebody?
Not quite at that point. I think Paul and Gene were trying to keep it as kind of a secret.
Oh, okay.
Because they were like, I didn't know it, but that was when Kiss was on the downturn. Like, they weren't selling out every place. You couldn't have told me that, because it seemed like it was packed. But like, that tour was one of the worst tours they ever had, but it was yet my first experience, so it was awesome.
Yeah.
I remember walking like right into the beginning of the arena and seeing the giant Kiss sign in the back before they started that hadn't been illuminated, and thinking, oh man, this is awesome. So it was killer. And my parents taking us, just the whole experience.
Your mom and your dad.
Yeah, they both went.
And they stayed and watched it?
They didn't know what to think, but they got a kick out of it, so. Yeah. So that's my second most memorable. Now your turn.
All right. Oh, look at this. My third one is Kiss too. Kiss and Motley Crue doubleheader.
Yep.
2011 or 12.
Yep.
And we were both at that one too.
Yeah.
That was like, if you had a bucket list check off, 2 awesome rock bands you've always wanted to see, that was that.
Yep.
That
was good.
That was my first Kiss, and my first and probably last Motley Crue. So,
yeah, and I remember Motley Crue because I remember them because I know who they are, but they they came through the audience to get on stage.
Oh.
You didn't know that?
No, I was in the grass.
Oh, man, because I was kind of up close, and not Mick, but the rest of them came through, and these, like, druid costume people accompanied them through the aisleways, and that's how they got up on stage. Yeah, I think they had a little bit of it in that documentary thing, but, yeah, so... And then they had those big water cannons and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty awesome.
And he had the roller coaster drum set, right?
Yeah, I think he had like a woman go up there and I forget what they do. Sit with them or I don't know. Do it with them. It's pretty cool.
They had a bunch of women for girls.
Yeah.
Girls. Yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
And that's a classic summer show. I mean...
Now, I would say that Motley Crue was memorable for me in probably 1983 or 4.
Okay.
But I was so far up that I can barely remember seeing what they looked like. And that was... I think it was Shout at the Devil when they were opening for Ozzy at the USF Sundome. I have the T-shirt to prove it. It's red. But I can't remember really what it sounded like or how they performed or anything. So, but yeah, all right. I'm going to move into out of heavy metal and rock and roll into new wave.
Okay.
Depeche Mode. June 2nd, 1990, USF Sundome, Violator tour, probably 10th row. So this was, like I said, the heyday. I mean, they had some hits, but this, like, Personal Jesus came out, and that was, like, the biggest hit. Mm-hmm. Embrace Silence, what's the song? Enjoy the Silence. I mean, just completely awesome. By this point, I'd moved from metal to old wave, new wave, and we went to see them. So quite a distance from 1983 to 1990, but just one of the most memorable shows, Depeche Mode. Tampa, Sundome, 1990. Video screens, just keyboard, they're very minimal keyboards. It was just completely awesome.
So was the Sundome around when you saw those other shows, or?
Man, I don't know. That's a good question. Probably not, because they would have played there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know because I went to USF. I don't know. What year was the USF? And I've saw many shows there. But back in those days, everybody went to Lakeland, Florida. I mean, that's where frickin' Randy Rhoads died. When Ozzy was touring there. So, well, it was evident. The Sundome was evidently in 1980, but I guess it was more like a state basketball stadium or something. And then they started having shows there. So,
I think Lakeland is. I think there's a lot of minor league and spring training baseball played there. I can't be sure. I don't know, but I think the Braves have a single A team there called the Fire Frogs. I might be wrong.
Yeah, very well could be.
So yeah.
Yeah, it used to be the high point of concerts.
And that's halfway between the
Tampa and Orlando.
Okay, Tampa and yeah. Okay, yeah. All right.
So you're up.
Okay, let's see. My phone turned off. My list. Oh, Iron Maiden. It's memorable.
All right.
It's memorable because it's Iron Maiden. I've always liked Iron Maiden's Eddie character.
Yep.
I like, obviously I like their music, but the thing is for that, I've never heard of them coming to Georgia before. They always come to Tampa.
Yeah.
Or, somewhere around Georgia, but never at. So when they came to Georgia, I was like, oh my God.
Georgia was hungry for them, man.
Yeah.
As seen by the sold out huge crowd.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had to see him. So.
Yeah, me too.
So yeah, that was yeah, that's why it was so memorable. Is because they've never come to. As far as I know, I'm sure they came in the past maybe, and I was a kid.
Right.
But as far as I knew, when I could go see concerts alone, or with friends and stuff, they've never come to Georgia.
Yeah.
And when they did, I was like, I'm gonna get on that because that's a band that still kind of miraculously has all the same.
Totally agree.
Well, mainly all the same members are the members who did the most classic work together. They've had some lineup changes, but the lineup has changed back to the classic Power Slave version. So yeah, must see. So we did.
Yep, I agree. All right, I'm gonna do one more 80s show.
Okay.
And I'm gonna. It's not metal. Hall & Oates.
Whoa.
Hall & Oates, Tampa Highlight, March 7th, 1982. These are shows that had a big impression on me.
Okay.
And another show that my parents took us to, same era almost as the Kiss show. I mean, it shows my variety of, musical likes and influences, I guess.
Yeah.
From Kiss to Hall & Oates. This was the, I think the Man-Eater, I Can't Go For That, no, era. So, again, their second heyday. and just completely blown away. This is, I don't know if you know what highlight is, but it's like a sport type thing. So they played this Tampa highlight in 1982, March 7th, and we went, and they were awesome. And it was I think it was like the Saturday Night Live band, G.E. Smith and the band. It was like their backing band back then. And they came up in the audience, like the sax player and G.E. Smith. I mean, it was just completely awesome. And I just remember just being blown away and leaving there going, man, wow. So.
What are some Hall & Oates? Maneater. What else was like?
Maneater, I can't go for that. No can do. And then like the 70s, I think was like Sarah Smile. You know, it's probably before your time, but they have a ton of classic songs.
Okay.
Yeah. Man.
I never got into them, but
I mean, so I had the cassette, and I was just into everything because I used to just listen to the radio all day long. You're a rich girl, and you're gone to, 76. Let's see. Yeah. Sarah Smile. Did it in a minute. Yeah, that was that year. Yeah, man. Okay. Their roots are like in classic soul and stuff. So
yeah.
It was just an awesome show.
And that's why they had G.E. Smith, because he...
Yeah. So, I mean, again, thanks to my parents for taking me to these shows back when I was in middle school.
So they saw that too, and they must have liked it.
And if I did one more 80s, not to cut you off, I'd probably do Night Ranger at the Tampa Theater. I couldn't find the date on the when they were first blowing up at the Motor Inn.
Yeah.
Before they got to stadiums, and I've always been a Night Ranger fan since then. And that was just an awesome show that my parents took us to, as well. So.
My wife played that in her band. She does a high school football band.
Yeah.
And last year they did Sister Christian.
Oh, cool.
Oh man, what's that Kansas song? Carry on My Wayward Son.
Carry on my wayward son. Yeah.
And a few other classic rocks. None of them I approved of. Except for Sister Christian.
Nah, man, yeah. That was like, you could still rock it, America. Yeah, it was awesome. Whew. Yeah, so those were the seminal concerts in my early age.
All right. Okay.
And from there, I moved to New Wave, I already covered it. But
New Wave and punk rock.
Yeah.
All right, so that's what I'm going to talk about some punk rock. Rancid. I saw Rancid when I was in college. And the thing about that is I was in college in Savannah. So
all right.
Me and two friends got up real early, drove 4
Real early?
Yeah. Well, I mean, real early for us back then. We drove 4.
So like 1 p.m.?
More like 10, 9 or 10. I mean.
Okay.
And then we drove 4 hours, 5 hours really, to get to Atlanta. Then we just hung around Atlanta. We went to Little 5 Points. We ate Savage Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to the Masquerade. Then we saw Rancid play, and I can't even remember who they were playing with. But yeah, we saw them play, and that started at
awesome
9 or 10.
Yeah, well, they probably didn't hit the stage till midnight, but yeah.
And then we drove back to school.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
And I didn't go to classes that next day.
Yeah.
But that was an adventure, and it's not an adventure I would go on now.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was really memorable.
Rancid. Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, what year was that about? Or what era, roughly?
That had to be like 97, 6 or
Okay.
7. Yeah.
So that brings me to a masquerade show that was memorable for me, and I don't know the year, I didn't look it up, which would be Love and Rockets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Was it Love and Rockets? But before that, they played in Tampa at their heyday at the big theater, and I saw them there. But then we saw them at Masquerade afterwards, and I mean, that's a small room, so you pretty much, if you love a band and you see them there, this is Masquerade before it moved to Underground Atlanta, and it was off North Avenue. It was really cool. So it was awesome, man.
What they have a connection to comics, right?
Well, there's a comic called Love and Rockets, but I don't think it has anything to do with them.
Oh, okay.
I think it's completely different.
Two different things. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so you segued into local shows here for me. So
yeah,
that's where I'm headed. But no,
wait.
I do have a couple more. I do have one more in Tampa, and that's 9 Inch Nails.
Okay.
Went heyday just after Pretty Hate Machine came off at Cafe Creole. Not the Cafe Creole. I forget the name of the courtyard area, and nobody knew who they were yet, and they were just breaking. And me and when my new wave band was started, we all went, and we were just blown away early on, and it was just extremely memorable and extremely awesome.
And did they have it? They had a drummer, but they also had
a drum machine.
A drum machine, right?
Yeah.
And they had They have a bunch of keyboards.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, I've never seen them. And I wouldn't mind going. It's not something that I would like.
I don't know if I'd go now, but back then, before it was still like pop industrial. It wasn't quite as dark as he is now, or got after that.
Yeah.
So that's probably why I liked it. It's like I was up above it. Whoa, it was good stuff.
But that was Head Like a Hole, right?
Yeah, Head Like a Hole. Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, man.
Oh, I mean that song is kind of dark.
Mm-hmm.
But
but that record's much more pop sensibility than their other ones.
Yeah. See, that's why I don't know. I never got into them, so.
Yeah.
I just know they're Head Like a Hole and a few other ones that are popular.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
My next show, and I'm gonna take it out of punk rock, even though I like there's more punk rock bands I've seen. They're not as memorable as me going to see Old Crow Medicine show at the Fox Theater in Atlanta with my dad.
Yeah, that wasn't too long ago, right?
It was about the same time as Kiss, like 2012 probably.
Yeah, okay. I remember you posting about it.
Yeah, my dad didn't have a good time because he can't stand, and he didn't know, he's a orchestra and band teacher, and he didn't know that people just stand for rock and roll shows, or non-performance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they're performing, but it's not suit and tie. That's what my dad's used to.
Suit and tie.
Yeah, orchestras and orchestral bands and stuff that play symphonies. That's what my dad does. That's what my dad's into. But he likes all kinds of music because, like I said, he's a music teacher. So he wanted to hear some. He wanted to hear them, and I like Old Crow Medicine Show because they're real country. They're not country like country is now, is soft rock. They're real country. with banjos, fiddles, and slide guitars and acoustic guitars.
Gotcha. Cool.
So yeah, that's another genre I really like. Is some people call it outlaw country, some people call it alternative country, but I just call it real country.
There you go.
So yeah, that's my next.
Well, I'm about out of them.
You're about out of them?
I mean, I could, of memorable, huge bands.
All right. Well, I got a few more.
All right.
And I want to stick with back with real country. Another show I saw at the Masquerade is Hank 3. He calls himself Hank 3 because he's the third Hank in the Hank Williams lineage. So he's Hank Williams Jr.'s son and Hank Williams his grandson. And I don't remember exactly who got me into, like, what band got me into liking real country or outlaw country. I mean, you know, outlaw country, that's the station on Sirius that plays real country. But
yeah,
Hank 3 was a major influence on me wanting to learn how to play banjo. So if he didn't get me if he wasn't the one that got me into real country, listening to him, he helped a lot. Probably was. But and then my last one is 19. I know it was like 93. It had to be 93. I went to Florida to visit my friend's dad. We both went down to Florida, and we went to see the Warped Tour.
Okay.
That's
what part of Florida?
Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah. So we went down there. I don't think we specifically went to see the Warped Tour, but you know, that was just something that we did while we were visiting. And
like, damn, the Warped Tour is going on. Let's go.
Yeah, and it was not like back then you could do that, and it's not a big deal. Like, you don't have to get frisked like all up and down, and it's not like a big hassle.
Right.
And you don't get get the tickets on the internet. You just go up there and get a ticket and go inside.
Yep.
So yeah, we just went up there, got some tickets, went inside, and we saw like a bunch of good bands. I can't really remember all the bands we saw, but I know for a fact one of the bands was Limp Bizkit, and I'll admit that I like Limp Bizkit. I mean, lots of people think they don't like it or think they're dumb, but
yeah.
But they were like one of the pioneers of nu metal, and I like them. So
cool.
I was glad I saw that, and I think that might be the only festival I've been to. I might have gone to another one. I'm not really sure. Can't remember. If I did, it wasn't very memorable. So that's
all right, man.
Those are my shows.
Yeah. All right. Love it. All right.
Okay.
Folks, that's our memorable shows.
So our next episode will be shows that we hope we're going to get to see before we die. Our bucket list shows.
Right.
Or before the performers quit.
Before they die.
Yeah, they die or they quit.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we'll be talking to you.
Good stuff. All right.